Success is not mysterious. It is just uncomfortable. Most people don't fail because they lack intelligence, talent, or opportunity. They fail because they misunderstand what money actually responds to. Money does not respond to effort. It responds to leverage, positioning, and time. This is why hard workers stay poor. From a psychological perspective, wealth is not created by working more. It is created by thinking in systems rather than tasks. The human brain evolved to trade time for survival. Money, however, rewards those who detach income from time. This is the first psychological fracture most people never cross. They feel safe being busy. They feel productive being exhausted. They feel moral being underpaid. But money is indifferent to morality. It flows toward value that scales. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman showed that humans are deeply loss-averse. We feel the pain of losing far more intensely than the pleasure of gaining. This single bias keeps people poor. They choose predictable discomfort over uncertain upside. A stable paycheck feels safer than volatile opportunity, even when the long-term math is worse. Wealth requires tolerance for volatility, not recklessness, but psychological resilience. The rich are not braver. They are less emotionally reactive to uncertainty. They don't ask, "What if this fails?" They ask, "What if this compounds?" Compounding is the quiet engine behind all real wealth. Not just financial compounding, but skill compounding, reputation compounding, network compounding. The problem is that compounding is invisible in the early stages. For a long time, it looks like nothing is happening. This is where most people quit. They mistake lack of feedback for lack of progress. In reality, they are standing at the most psychologically difficult phase: delayed reward. The brain hates delayed reward. Dopamine is released by immediacy, not by patience. That is why social media, gambling, and consumerism thrive, and why building wealth feels boring, lonely, and slow. To become successful, you must train your nervous system to tolerate boredom without self-sabotage. You must learn to operate without applause. Another psychological trap is identity. Most people tie their self-worth to their current income level. This makes growth threatening. If you see yourself as not the type to be rich, any action toward wealth feels like betrayal. Successful people update their identity before their bank account. They behave like owners before they own anything. They think in terms of assets before they have them. An asset is anything that produces value without your presence. Your job is not an asset. Your time is not an asset. Skills that scale are assets. Distribution is an asset. Ownership is an asset. Money follows ownership. This is why employees cap out and owners compound. Psychologically, ownership requires responsibility without guarantees. You cannot outsource blame. When something fails, there is no manager to absorb the shock. Most people avoid this level of responsibility because it threatens the ego. It is easier to complain than to be accountable. But wealth is built by people who accept full causal responsibility for their outcomes. Not because it feels good, but because it gives them control. Another uncomfortable truth: money does not reward fairness. It rewards demand. You can be ethical, kind, and hardworking, and still produce something nobody wants. The market does not care how difficult your work is. It cares how replaceable you are. To be successful, you must ask a brutal question. What problem do I solve that others cannot easily replicate? If the answer is none, you are competing in a crowded field with shrinking margins. Wealth flows to scarcity. Scarcity of skill, scarcity of insight, scarcity of execution, and execution matters more than ideas. Everyone has ideas. Few people have the psychological discipline to implement them consistently. Consistency is not willpower, it is environment design. Successful people don't rely on motivation. They reduce friction. They make the right action easier than the wrong one. They structure their lives to support long-term thinking. And finally, success requires emotional detachment from outcomes, not apathy, but steadiness. You cannot build wealth if every setback feels personal, if every loss feels like a verdict on your worth. Money is a feedback system, not a judgment. The people who win are the ones who stay in the game long enough for probability to work in their favor. Success is not loud. It does not arrive with certainty. It does not feel heroic. It feels repetitive. It feels lonely. It feels delayed. And that is why it is rare. Not because it is impossible, but because most people are psychologically unequipped to endure the process. If you want to be successful seriously, stop asking how fast it will happen.